Hi, today I'd like to talk about the Bible being evidence for Jesus' death and resurrection. Now, I was talking to a friend of mine earlier who is a Christian, and he was saying he'd been to some talk about how the Bible is evidence, should be seen as evidence of Jesus' death and resurrection. And he was saying, I believe it like you believe in things because it has evidence. Look, in the Bible, you have the testimony of people saying that this happened. And I'm not going to dispute this because I don't know anything about the people who actually testified in the Bible. I've heard that it happened. They wrote these things between 30 and 60 kind of years after the event. But anyway, this is something I'd like to, for someone who is a Christian watching this, there's something I'd like them to answer, which is, pretend that you were an atheist and this book had not been written and nothing had been known of Jesus, and then today, so pretend you're a secularist. Today, there was something on some website in the news about an event which happened 60 years ago, and there's this book, and they produced this book, and in this book it says someone got executed by a government, and there was about 20 people who say that they saw this person die, and then 3 days later they escaped the cemetery, they're around, or the morgue, and they're alive. And we should believe everything they said before that, including the thing that they were the Son of God, because of this evidence. There was 20 people who saw this happen. Now, what would you think about this? I'm sure your first reaction, your very first reaction, would be, this is clearly just rubbish. I mean, if there had been a video of it, then okay, I'd grant you it. But there's literally just writing about it. 20 or so people have seen this thing happen and they've testified it to happen. Now, you wouldn't believe this, but you do believe that this happened, the same thing essentially happened 2,000 years ago, and you're believing this from this book called the Bible, which has this evidence of people testifying to having seen it. Now, I ask you, if this had happened more recently, would you believe it? And of course you wouldn't.